Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and today I'm doing a video. This video is gonna kill two birds with one stone. This is my mission inspiration for July, and I decided the theme would match the pawgustart hashtag event. So I'm following the prompts for the mission inspiration, but the subject matter will be the pawgustart. And the first one was to apply a base color with a baby wipe. So I'm just using some gel crayons from Prang, and I just applied some color, and now I'm rubbing it with the baby wipe. I have to keep rotating it because I did gesso this page to cover up what was behind it, and I'm using, I believe it's a Liquitex gesso, and it's really kind of rough, and it's just ripping through that baby wipe. But I just picked yellow and blue and just kind of blending it together and getting a little bit of a green, not much of a green. Maybe if I had to put it on a little thicker, but then it'd be way too bright. And it's really just random, you know. It's all going to be in the background. Hopefully with the next step it won't show up too much. So the next step is to apply napkins or tissue paper, just fragments. And so I'm just using my matte medium to glue down some of my polka dot napkin. While you're watching that, don't forget to put hashtag pawgustart in the search bar on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of videos inspired by Man's Best Friend, or, you know, I think that's a dog, but cats count, and other animals, I'm sure. Anything with a paw. Or paws. I go through and put all these napkins down, and I'm trying to remember if you even see any of it at the end. Maybe a little bit. So the next step is to add a thin layer of white gesso or paint, and so I have gesso, and I decided I would put it down with a card. So I'm using an old card and just scraping it on. I just kind of wanted that kind of effect. I don't have 100% idea of what I'm going to do, just knew that I wanted to have an animal, hopefully as my focal image. I'm getting the bumps from behind, you can see the little circles, so I figured I needed to put something stiff back there so that I don't get the little circles from the page below. I am doing this is a magazine that I've converted, and I'm doing the pages randomly. I'm forward, back, middle, just not in order. Okay, so the next step was to add texture paste through a stencil. This is not texture paste. I saw somebody do this with molding compound, spackling compound, and so I thought I would try it. It's a little tan. I might have to try just drying some and see if it goes white when it dries. I decided to add some black, and it goes kind of a gray color. Not sure I like the gray color, but and I was really worried about putting spackling compound through my stencil, so I was very careful and made sure I washed it thoroughly the minute I was done applying this stuff, so that it wouldn't become permanent. I wasn't sure if it would, but better safe than sorry, and get that off of there right away. But it worked as a texture, and it was really, really cheap. I think it cost me a couple of dollars for that whole big bucket. I'm not sure how long it will last, but yeah, I'll have to try it on more things. I wonder if I added white paint, if it would be white. I don't know. I just need to let some dry and see what it looks like dry without color. Because it does lighten up a bit. This one lightens up a bit. I do cover it practically, all of it with paint, but I think it does lighten a bit, even with the black paint in it. So now it's pretty much dry. You can see how it lightened a little bit. Came a light gray. The next step was to add contrasting colors, so I picked colors opposite of each other on the color wheel. That's contrasting, right? So I decided I would do orange and blue. And I'm also applying this with the card and just kind of going over the texture, leaving a space on the left for my focal image, and kind of covering up the gray a little bit because I don't think it quite goes. Plus it makes it more interesting. So now I'm going to add a little bit of blue. The paints I am using is quite random. That was Podge Orange, and then this one is a Master's Touch Sky Blue. That's what this one is, I believe. And just applying the blue over the top of the orange. The orange was dry. You didn't see me dry it. I think I just let it sit there and dry. I didn't want it to turn brown, which I think is what it would have done. Okay, so the next step was to adhere book text fragments. So these are just bits out of a dictionary. I bought a huge dictionary at the thrift store for like $2, and it's like a huge unabridged. It's gonna last me forever. I'm just going right over the texture. I add a little bit more matte medium, and then the paper will sink right down around the triangles. And still just kind of going around the edges, keeping my focal space open. This one I did have a plan. So I found a little puppy dog and drew him. And now I'm just going over it with, this is my Uniball Air pen, which I really like. I've drawn a lot with it, and it lasts quite a while. I just thought this dog was kind of cute. He's a little calm for my background. And for a while I was like, well, I like the white. The pop of white would have been nice. But then I'm like, that's, I don't know. A white dog might be a bit too much. So I do end up coloring him. I just decided I wanted it a little thicker. This pen is kind of thin. I need to get me some thicker pens. And now these are just Crayola colored pencils. Decided I would make him a little bit brown instead of the stark white. Even though I thought that white looked really good against the blue. And these are just cheap colored pencils. I do have some Prismacolor pencils somewhere. They must be in a box somewhere. I have not been able to locate them for a little while. We have a spare room that is my future art studio, is what I want it to be. And it's full of storage right now, so I have to figure out a home for everything that's in there. Alright, a lot of it might actually be art supplies if I could unbury it all. But it all just takes time. And when you work a full-time job and come home and do this in the evening when you get a chance, it's hard to spare time to find new homes for all the storage. Need to take a weekend and just get it done. Just keep adding layers to make him darker and darker. And as I have this speeded up way fast. And this is a more orangey brown. That other brown was a little gray. I think this one's a little bit better color for a dog. Like I said, I just keep building up layers and layers, trying to get the shading darker and darker without it getting too thick, I guess. Alright, he's ready. So now the next step is actually to stamp images or patterns. So I decided my little puppy dog is going to have a bird on his head, and that is going to be my stamp. So I'm just lining it up, moving the puppy, and we're going to put that bird on there. And then step 8 is to add the focal image, which is going to be the dog. So I'm just going to use, I think I just use regular glue. This is Elmer's, if I can get it to come out of there. I really didn't want to mess with doing the matte medium over the top of the image, so that is why I'm using the glue. And we're just going to put him down, just using the card to push it in. And then the next is handwritten song lyric quote. And I knew I wanted to do a dog, but I didn't know any dog songs, so I googled them, and this is one of the verses in a song, and it was, I was a good dog today, dug a little bit deeper under the fence, and it says, protecting you from the cat next door, or cats next door. I thought that was cute. And I decided to outline the bird a little bit more so that it would just stand out just a little bit, using my Uniball Air pen again. There we go. And the last prompt is a border of your choice. So I just decided to go with that blue and just do a little bit around all the edges of the page, and that will be our border. It's really hard to hold a straight line down the center of that. There we go. Well, I hope you liked that. If you did like it, please hit like. Feel free to share. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.